What is going on, everybody? Welcome to 49ers First Takes. A little earlier than usual for me, but I said, what the heck? My next guest, or my guest, you've seen him on Real Talk Niner Talk. He's been on the Grant Cohn Show. He's pretty much everywhere right now. Please welcome Silverado Kev. Kev, it's nice to have you here. We're going to kind of commiserate together with the 49ers and what's going on. So thanks for coming on.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Happy to be here. So any opportunity I can talk, Niner Talk and represent Real Talk Niner Talk and be myself, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Definitely. I just wanted to say thanks again for having you and the guys having me on the Real Talk Niner Talk. Was it the pregame show on Saturday?
That was a pregame show. Yes.
Where we all thought we would actually beat. We actually thought we'd win a game. Boy, were we wrong.
That was
embarrassing.
For the lack of a better term, embarrassing. And I think what it was, bro, like how we kind of felt like not so much it was an easy win, but it should have been. It was a win. We kind of we saw it as a win. Due to the personnel being out for the Cardinals, and I think they kind of came out and played like that as well. It's only Colt McCoy, but Colt McCoy lit that ass up though. You know what I'm saying? So, man. Ooh.
I guess my first question to you, based on, because I have some stuff here, but I'm just going to kind of go out of order. What is lacking from this team this year is I feel like there's a little bit of a ticker problem, like the heart, I don't feel the same enthusiasm. I don't feel the same aggression. I don't feel the same focus. I see a lot of flat games. Defense, especially lately, has been really suspect. For a while, it was the offense. And then the offense started kind of doing okay, I guess. And lately, the defense is the last game. It was a game, like you said, we should be able to win this. They're down their two top receivers. They're down their starting quarterback, who's probably going to be in the MVP conversation. And yet, the defense looked heartless, listless. What do you think about that, man? Because I know it bothers me, so I know it bothers you. So what was your take on watching that kind of just because here, I'll say this. There's some people who think I'm super negative, but the one thing I like about Real Talk Niner Talk is everybody's really real. They don't spit out like super happy Niner stuff all the time. If the Niners are doing bad, we're going to talk about it. That's how my channel is. So that's why I like you and I like the guys on the channel. So that's why we're talking about the lack of energy, the lack of whatever from the Niners. What's your thought on that? How are you feeling about that?
Ooh, that's a pretty loaded question, but I'm gonna answer it best I can. And I'm trying to avoid regurgitating what I've said before. But in a nutshell, is leadership, coaching, and the word I've used for the way they've played is it looks to me like a team playing uninspired football.
Yes.
And I understand that these are grown men. I understand that they're getting paid large amounts of money to perform and carry out tasks. But even grown men have to be motivated, inspired, have a fire lit under them. So right now it just seems like, and it rolls downhill because if the coach isn't happy per se, or the coach isn't in harmony with himself or the universe, neither would the players be. So right now they're playing very uninspired football, and I'm only a youth coach, but I know what coaching is from the core. I don't care that Kyle Shanahan gets paid and I don't to coach. I've coached for 7 years, and if I can get between 9 and 14-year-old young men to pick up concepts and things of that nature and kind of motivate them, I don't see why he can't do it. He's getting paid to do it. So that's your job, and you're getting paid to do this. So it's almost like you're not living up to your contract per se if you guys aren't motivated. So I don't know, man. And losing sucks too, So I really think in that locker room there needs to be somebody to step up and say, stand up on the bench listen, this stops now. We suck. We're a terrible football team playing even worse football, and I don't like it. But unfortunately, it's going to have to either be it needs to be Kyle Shanahan or one of these players on the team. I've used a term called dog a lot. Like he's a dog, pretty much.
Yep.
He's going to fight if you go in a room with them, only one person walking out. It's not going to be you. It's going to be me. Me against you. Fight tooth and nail, blood, sweat, and tears. One of those guys, Debo, Trent Williams, George Kittle, names like that, Juszczyk, names like that. If their talent matched their outspokenness, I think would be a lot better. But again, that type of motion has to start with the head coach. The head coach has to fire these guys up and demand different. So it starts with coaching. And unless Kyle Shanahan wakes up one morning, looks in the mirror and realizes, okay, this starts with me, it's going to continue to snowball. We will end the season 3-14.
Exactly. It's funny. My dad was named Kevin too, and he always used to say, "Crap always rolls downhill." That was one of his famous sayings about, like, in the job force, if you have a bad boss, with like a way he leads people, the people underneath him are gonna be the same. I apologize, my phone's going off.
Oh,
sorry.
Do your thing. No problem.
I just let it kind of go. So yeah, and I feel like that personality or that type of leadership or lack of leadership, it rolls downhill, and people, the people underneath you are just as unmotivated and without passion. This team, we're talking about like having somebody who's going to come and like light a fire on them. I was watching something about Ronnie Lott. Now, the Niners were really good during the Lott, Montana, Craig, Rice era, right? But Ronnie Lott would still go at halftime sometimes and give these fiery speeches, hail and brimstone, and then be like, and let's pray after. Like, this was during his successful 49er era.
And that's what leadership looks like.
I'm sick of everybody being real swaggy and looking nice and smiling all the time. It bothers me, man. I understand it's your profession and you make a lot of money and you should be happy. But like, I don't like the whole like trading jerseys at the center of the game field after the game is one. I'm like old school. I don't like that. Like, I'm the type of person who like absolutely you want to despise your enemy and play like you hate them.
We're not friends.
Yeah, like we're not cool with each other. Like I don't like that. I don't know. This team to me, yeah, like you said, it lacks fire. It lacks. I feel like Kyle Shanahan, and you watch him in press conferences, and he is the most uninspiring. I would never want to run through a brick wall for him kind of guy ever. Skilled coordinator, but head coach qualities, he lacks a lot in that area for sure. John Lynch seems to have the more of the personality and a guy you would probably run through a wall for. But yeah, I don't get super inspired watching press conferences from Kyle Shanahan. We're not winning, so I can say that. I mean, it might be different if we were winning, but I don't know, man. I just don't know. Go ahead.
This is frustrating, Aaron, man. It's very frustrating. Not just watching the product on the field, but just watching a guy who's supposed to be the head coach, just kind of like, man, and unfortunately, and I've said this to the point of nauseum, but I'm going to say it again. Kyle Shanahan is your classic grade A top tier narcissist. Two very common traits of a narcissist. Number one, they feel like they're never wrong. Like they're never feel like they did anything wrong. What they say goes, oh, it's your fault, not mine. And secondly, and I might put this on a t-shirt, Kyle Shanahan would rather lose his way or be wrong his way than win or be right somebody else's. And exactly. That's just, you can't do that, bro. It's especially if it's not working. So, and because of that, he lacks that leader of men trait. And I get it. Some people don't have that in them. But go somewhere where you don't need to do that. Because right now, like you said on just a minute ago, there's not many vocal leaders in the locker room. At least they haven't been vocal so far. All the vocal leaders we sent away. Richard Sherman, DeForest Buckner, Joe Staley, guys like that, recently. Emmanuel Sanders, that's going to say, hey, man, listen, you need to do better. I need to do better. Let's do better. So how you remove all those guys from the locker room when that was your crutch. So now you're going to stand on your own, too, and look what's going on. And I've said it from top to bottom. Jerry Jones, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, they can all pack their bags if you ask me.
Definitely. Tommy Huxley made a good point, and I was kind of thinking the same thing when it comes to the Niners. He said, my grandfather called the Steelers bums when they were playing to their standards. This is the era of the steel curtain. We should always be critical and hold our teams to the standards. Listen, the Niners were Super Bowl or bust back from from 80 whatever till the late 90s. It was Super Bowl or it was a failure. People like, oh, it could be a failure. Well, if your goal is to win the Super Bowl every single year, then it would be a failure. And I don't know if this team or these players hold themselves to that same level of accountability. I feel like as fans or podcasters or content creators, we are more aware of the history and the lore of the 49ers and what it meant to be a 49er more than these players or coaches or general managers are. And that's sad, man. That bothers me so much.
You know what it is, though, I think, and I may be off base with this, but, unfortunately, since I don't know about you, I'm born and raised in the city of San Francisco, the Fillmore district. So I was born into Empire. It's not just on me, it's in me, tattoo to prove it, even just to make it even more official. But my thing is, I don't think per se some of these guys even give a damn, because hey, as long as I get my money, I'm good, so you really have to have a personal connection. I don't care if you're in a 1-year contract. For that 1 year, you have that all in 100% connection to the franchise, earn your paycheck and give the fans something to be proud of. And right now, some of the players are giving us something to be proud of, but the coaching staff, front office, they didn't get the nerve to raise ticket prices. I'm not gonna say what I said on our show, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you saw it, you heard it.
I might have to go. In any line of work, if you don't perform up to the level that you're supposed to over a period of a long time and you work below expectations, eventually you get fired, right?
Yes.
Saying that, should John or Kyle be on the hot seat?
Yes. Both of them, most definitely. Hell, Jay York and Jones, it could be a trifecta. But to answer your question directly about those two, and I've heard other people saying, I'm not saying he should get fired or X, Y, Z. No, damn that. Right now, he's not performing. So, like you just said, if you don't perform, what happens? You either get demoted or you get terminated. And what's unfortunate is, as much as they criticize people in the media, most recently Fred Warner, I'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, so their decision making has been terrible. Be it draft picks, excuse me, or free agents or whatever it may be. Excuse me before I say it.
Yeah, no problem.
Whatever it may be, it's just they just lack leadership and just lack drive, and so it irritates my soul, bro. It really does. As a born and raised fan and a coach myself, I hate sitting back and watching this. Like I said in one of my tweets, there's no way I'm going to practice day in and day out, Aaron, and I'm watching this product of football. They got my name on it. And I'm like, okay, that'll do. That's what I'm saying. It got to be a leader of men or a coaching type thing. Like, they go as you lead. I don't feel like they're being led, inspired, and motivated right now. And until that happens, the undisciplined, all that, until that happens, it's not going to change.
Say what you want about a guy like Harbaugh, but that team was always motivated. Always.
Man.
And they weren't always
right
hurt.
Now.
They weren't always hurt. They were always motivated. They played physical. They determined how the game was going to be played. It wasn't the other team determining how the Niners are going to play their game. I can't stand Kyle Shanahan being dictated to by defenses how he's going to run his offense. No, man, run your offense. If you run the football and you run it well, do it. Until somebody can stop it consistently. Oh, they were playing a 6-man line or something. Whatever, dude. I'm just so sick of it, man. It's like they're coaching in fear.
And that's something else about a true head coach / leader of men. Again, I know it's only been youth, but damn it, my defense, I ran a 3-5-3 defense. I call it my speed, type, pressure defense. And sometimes teams will come out and 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. Oh, so you gonna stay in your 3-5-3? You damn right. That don't mean because I'm in a particular set, I'm running the same thing every play. You see what I'm saying? So, and my thing is, sometimes else about Kyle Shanahan, he has this stigma that he has to fit a quarterback that's going to fit his system. It don't work like that because it's like this cookie cutter ideal he has, and if the player doesn't fit in that cookie cutter, he moves on to the next. But you leaving a lot of talent on the table doing that. And to go back to my point about Shanahan wanting to find a guy to fit his system, a good coach can adjust his system to fit his talent.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? A good coach is going to find out what you do well and don't do well, and then move forward from there. And that ties back into my comment about Kyle Shanahan. He'd rather be wrong his way than right somebody else's because he didn't want to change it.
Yeah, my nephew always made that point to me. And my nephew's only, he's about 26 years old. When I used to tell him why certain things didn't work out and this coach didn't work out or this player, and he's like, my nephew goes, if you're a great coach, then you should take whatever system you run and curtail it to the player that you have, like, oh, he likes to use his legs. Well, let's adjust the offense so that his legs can be of use. Not necessarily running quarterback power like they did against Arizona the first time. But if the guy can get on the move, why aren't you bootlegging him? Get him easy reads. I don't understand. It's like, no, we're going to do it this way. Like some sort of authoritarian, like dictatorship, or like where you just tell people to do things and they must listen. It doesn't work like that. These are grown men. If somebody at work tells me how to sit, how to stand, how to blink, breathe, I'm going to tell them to kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work.
Say it with me. Narcissist.
Total narcissist.
That's top tier. Somebody laughed the other day when I said that. I'm like, no, I'm being serious. You're the top tier narcissist. And I guarantee you right now, a Coach Harbaugh as the head coach, oh, man, number one, our record isn't the way it is. Number two, without the injuries we have. Number three, the lack of motivation and inspiration won't be there. Mike Tomlin, Sean McVay. I'd rather have McVay over Shanahan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and he's so blah, and then he said something on one interview most recently. There's two things he said. But the one thing I saw most recently, I guess they asked him about when can we expect to see more of a Trey Lance or Trey Lance taking the team over. We're going to see how the second half of the season goes. See, what? So that lets
you're
going
to put him in when you're out of it. Right.
So, but that also lets me know you're okay with the shit show going on right now. And that's not okay with me. So I don't know, Aaron. Boy, like I said, we will be 3-14 if this don't change. Starting Monday night. I know we're against our odds. It's the Rams. The day they added, Von Miller. Then they added OBJ. They got Cooper Kupp. All that. But damn it, any given Monday, Sunday, Thursday, go out there. You don't got to be the better team. Just play better football.
Exactly. What do you think about the OBJ move and the Von Miller move? What is your opinion on that?
Well, first of all, you know how our front office does with, big name free agents. We typically shop at like the Dollar Tree, 99-cent store, TJ Maxx, things of that nature. So, I okay, yeah. If you say Walmart with a great value brand versus the name brands, So, but as far as picking up either Von Miller or OBJ, I don't even know if we went after Von Miller or not. And then OBJ,
which is ridiculous.
Kyle, I think it was Kyle or John, one of them clowns, came out and said that it was a money issue. That's why you see, and then to hear them say that and then see how much the player got, it's like, and I know you saw that tweet earlier about all the guys that came to the Rams since McVay's been there. I mean, have they won a Super Bowl with that? No, but damn it, they're trying. But in my heart of hearts, I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. I really feel that those type of personalities, they can't coach. They refuse to coach because they're men. They can't. Yes, boss, no boss. They can't control those type of personality types. So, and yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that this regime is kind of I don't know, it's just kind of ran out of steam. I just don't have any, when Kyle first came on with John, I was very enthusiastic. I wasn't enthusiastic as much about the John hire, being GM, but I was very enthusiastic about Kyle because I thought he could get the best out of his players. But like you said, they shop at the discount store. They go after players that have injury histories and pay them 1-year deals and thinking they're going to do some magic voodoo and they're not going to be hurt. And sure enough, you bet on a guy like Verrett, he gets hurt. You bet on a guy like Mostert, he gets hurt. You pay for a guy like Kittle, he's always hurt. Like, not saying that you don't pay Kittle, because I would, but there is a fundamental flaw with how they build the roster on this team and the way they go about it and the tactics that they use and going low and not offering money or putting it all in guarantees or whatever. Like, listen, man, sometimes if it means letting your fan base know that you really are serious about winning, you're going to pay a little extra money to bring in the big name who's, one, going to sell tickets, and two, might actually be really, really good and help you, instead of, no, we're going to go with Jason Verrett. And, he's only had one healthy season in like 7 years, but, we're going to give him we're going to re-sign him. Or, the same with a bunch of other players across, like the D4 deal was one of the worst deals. The 49ers got completely fleeced, and it's their own fault. Again, shopping at the dollar store. They would say, right. Finessed. They didn't even shop at the dollar store. They actually had to pay for D Ford, and they still messed up. So I have little to no confidence in this current regime anymore. Somebody in the comments said, make Alex Smith the GM and Eric Bieniemy the coach. I like Eric Bieniemy. I wouldn't mind him as coach because I think he would get the best out of a guy like Trey Lance.
No,
Alex Smith as the GM, not so much.
I'll tell you, Bieniemy and like a guy like Louis Riddick as the GM.
Yes.
But I have a question for you right quick, Aaron, because you said something to me that I would like to understand your thinking behind what you said. So I'm going to go backwards here a bit. You said that you was kind of excited about Kyle Shanahan when he first came over here and he can get the best out of his players, right?
I thought.
Okay, right. You said you thought. But I would like to know what evidence of him doing that in the past had you seen to make you say, you know what, I think he can get the best out of our players? Or was it that you were just confident in his play calling abilities?
I would think it'd be more of the confidence in his play calling abilities. I thought he did well with the players that he had in Atlanta. And he likes, I like some of the stuff that he does. I like a lot of the jet sweeps and the motions and all that stuff. Problem is, this is the 21st century. This is 2021. Sometimes you got to throw the ball downfield. And all that stuff is cute and nice and once in a while, but I've grown tired of him, and I'm growing tired of that offense. So, yeah, I thought more or less he was an offensive-minded guy, and I was excited because, you went from the Harbaugh to Tom Sula to what's his name? I can't think of his name. The coach who coached at Philadelphia who came to Chip Kelly. I thought, and he was the most sought-after guy coming off that Super Bowl. So I'm thinking, they got. I mean, they didn't have any talent when they first got here, but I was still excited for sure.
I mean, I think we were all excited because it was, something different. We saw Shanahan call plays and things of that nature. But I be trying to tell people, just because you are great at calling plays don't make you a great head coach. And he's never had to be a leader of men before,
Right.
And if you think about him being an OC way before he got here, and think about the way he acts like a position coach. He speaks like a position coach. So we kind of expected something from him that we never had evidence of him having in him. If you think about it. And he said something a little while ago about when somebody asked him, do you ever pull any position group to the side, the offense or defense, and kind of give him a speech or talk to him? He was like, no. I'm like, what? What do you mean, no? And again, he's acting like an OC. He never had to be a head coach. You see what I'm saying? So it's so frustrating, bro. Like it makes my stomach hurt. It gives me a headache. It's just like it's poor football being played. And again, I know the players have to execute. That Ayuk fumble was on nobody but Ayuk. That Kittle fumble was on nobody but Kittle. But my thing is, and it should have to be pushed, but ball security should be paramount. So yes, they should know these things already, but these are things I'm saying every game. Hey, listen, protect the ball, watch the ball, just reminders, things like that. But the overall lackluster play, it looks like lack of enthusiasm from above. not above being a lord, but above the food chain. So yeah, man.
Yeah, this they've had one winning season since they've been here, and these guys act like they've won a Super Bowl, and they talk about culture and this and that and the other, and I'm so sick of it. I don't want to hear it anymore. What culture? A losing culture? You ain't won nothing. You won 1 year. Everybody played really great that year. I mean, Jimmy played well in 2019 for the most part. The running game was fantastic. The defense was fantastic. Guys came in when guys were hurt and played well, but they're still living off of that. Like, it's been 2 years and they're still
let it go.
You can't let go of the run it back garbage. It's over with,
LIG
man.
it. LIG.
Man. Yeah, go ahead.
No, my mind's racing, and I know you're probably the same way, but I just keep hearing, excuse myself, say, just fix it. I mean, but man, but what it's going to take to fix it, I don't think they have. And I do want to speak about something else you just said that triggered a thought for me, as far as the way they recruit and bring in guys. I used to write for a site called Niners Live, right? That was the first site I ever wrote for. And something my guy over there used to always say, we agreed on that this regime likes choir boys over, these more rugged, personality-driven type guys. And you see the result of that because you let all the non-choir boys go. And that's what you get. I really just we've been a finesse team for a long time. Even our 19 season, we were still a finesse team, but just playing great defense. Back when I was growing up, you were growing up, we were both finesse and we were punch in the mouth.
Yep.
You see finesse, but they play with grit. And sometimes you see that, and sometimes you don't. But for the most part, you don't. And I just really feel like the locker room feel like what they got to play for. And again, they shouldn't need reminding because they're growing and they're getting paid. But damn it, as a head coach, you have to give constant reminders.
Yeah, you've seen that clip before where it's from the 88-89 season, and Keena Turner's talking about they cut like the finesse ass 49ers came into Chicago and kicked ass.
Yes.
And he was talking about like how people call them finesse, and they freaking outsmashed the Bears in that game, playing great defense. Montana and Rice played really good. And it was like when the Niners needed to, for the most part, they could get physical and they could get nasty. They had guys like that were a little bit crazy, like a Charles Haley. He was a little out there. You need a couple of those.
Yeah.
He was a lot out there. You need to have a couple of bad boys on your team. Some people like that might get a personal foul call or take a cheap shot at somebody. You don't have to have a team full of them. I understand not wanting to be, the mid-90s Cowboys after Jimmy Johnson left, where they're, guys were out having benders the night before and then coming to practice.
Right.
Because you remember you remember that there's a clip of freaking Troy Aikman just flipping out because Barry Switzer just not taking a hold of guys.
Right.
You don't want that situation. But I wouldn't mind having a diva. I want a diva wide receiver. I want a diva on defense, a corner that talks a lot of trash. You know what I mean? Some swagger, man. This team has zero swagger. Like they're like afraid. They play afraid. They play like half the guys on defense look like they're making business decisions when they're playing. Sometimes not wanting to hit people. So
especially that last loss against the Cardinals. We was out there tackling like every player was Derrick Henry, scared to make a tackle, So
that I can understand. That's a big boy,
right? But no, I'm saying the way we were tackling, you would think every time somebody ran the ball, it was damn Derrick Henry, So again, that's when during the game, hey, like I always say to my team, hey, wake up! You better wake up before you stay asleep, because right now y'all sleep at the wheel. Wake up before next thing you know, it'll be the fourth quarter we lose. So wake the hell up. Somebody has to on that sideline. I don't care who it is. And as far as the word diva you used, I don't know. Like OBJ, he's a diva. Ramsey, he's a diva. They're vocal leaders and they're kind of rah-rah kind of guys. Now, I use the term dog a lot. Like I said, but the only thing about it is every dog doesn't have that vocal leadership in them. You know, they're
Yeah.
more kind of lead by example type guys. And we got a
Yes.
team full of dogs. You know, Debo, Kinlaw's a dog. You know, Warner's a dog. Ward's a dog. You know, I would think a guy like Mosley, Aziz got some dog in him. Bosa. Only thing about it is they're more, you know, Trent Williams, they're more lead by example versus, okay, listen, I'm going to tell you this, and then we're going to go out here and do it. But somebody has to speak up, Aaron. Somebody has to. Player, start with Kyle Shanahan, but one of these players, a couple of these players, got to have a team, a player meeting. Like, hey, y'all see our record. Our fans don't want to be here. You know, and they didn't raise ticket prices. They had to take it personally and say, we want to put a better product out there, not for just us, but our fans. I mean, like I said, we sat out there in that damn rain in that Colts game, damn near caught pneumonia, you know, and for that,
I feel for you guys. That was crazy.
man, so just put a better product out there, man.
Definitely. Luke Luna made a good point. He said KC's offense is struggling under Bieniemy, and if the Niners had him, we'd be calling for his head. It's true. It is a flavor of the month type thing. I just thought he worked well. I mean, he was kind of the big talk in the last offseason about someone who eventually is going to get a coaching hire. Yeah, we would totally be talking sideways about him. But
I mean, that's anybody though.
But that's definitely anybody. We can just be how do I put this? I think it's safe to say that what we're seeing ain't good enough anymore, and something has to be done. There has to be something. Someone either has to get fired or have power taken away from them or something. If this season continues to be the way that it is, you almost want them to have, I hate to say this, you almost want them to kind of have a falling out or a bottoming out, because then something might actually change. If they were to kind of like get it going towards the end of the season, it would kind of hide some blemishes, and then they would show again back up next year. So in a way, you almost kind of want things to hit rock bottom so that things start to be changed and things get better. But there's still a lot of season left, man.
You know, Dave said something on his show the other night, and in his heartfelt intro. What's going on, Tanya?
Hi, Tanya.
Yeah, she real cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
He said something about until one of these players speak up in the media and say their piece about the state of the franchise, the kind of football they're playing, how they look, how they're feeling, it's not going to change. And my thing is, I can't stand the fact. See, if that happened, based upon who the player is, they'll get scrutinized for it. But you got John Lynch out here the other day talking about he threw Fred Warner on the 4 buses.
I saw that.
4 buses, 2 tanks, you know, a couple Humvees. And I'm like, it's one thing to kind of talk about a player's the way they're playing, but now you're talking about his pockets, accusing him of getting a large contract and not playing no more. How dare you? You know, who raised you, John Lynch? Who raised you? Because you don't do shit like stuff like that. You don't. But the thing about it is, if Fred Warner comes back and says something directed towards the coaching staff or the front office, now his snaps like, you know, it's gonna be some backlash.
He's a bad guy. He's the thankless athlete. Yeah, of course.
And so now my thing is, so if you're gonna accuse him, Fred Warner, All Pro Fred, of taking a step back or steps back after he received a big contract, so what about Jimmy? What about Kittle? Because neither one of them has really played the way they were before they get
more
paid,
Kittle than anybody.
Jimmy. Right. I got a theory on Kittle too, but to finish my point, you know, stuff like that you don't hear about. So you mean to tell me you finna call Fred Warner out for that, but not Kittle or other guy Juszczyk? You know, and I'm going on tangents here, but it all ties in.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm all about tangents. I do it all the time.
Kyle's doghouse thing. Hear me out, and then you kind of form your own decision. Players we've seen be scrutinized in the media for their play. Ayuk, Debo, now Fred Warner, right? So those 3 guys you've heard John Kyle Shanahan kind of mention their play. But ironically, you never heard Juszczyk name get scrutinized and put in the doghouse. You never heard McGlinchey get put in the doghouse. You never heard Jimmy get put in the doghouse. You never heard Kittle get put in the doghouse. You never heard Brunskill get put in the doghouse. You never heard Matt get put in the doghouse. there's a trend here. I'm not saying, but I am saying. So you take from that what you want to, but those kind of guys don't get put in the doghouse, especially get scrutinized in the media. Stop that shit, because you don't do that, man. And you think somebody is going to want to come here watching your GM dog you on national television, or in some kind of presser? Man, come on, man. It just, you can't do people like that, man. So John Lynch, he on my shit list now too. He
absolutely
for real. Sitting right 1,
Bro.
2, 3. York, Shanahan, Lynch, all of them.
I'm gonna tell you, man, and I try not to. I don't want to be a violent person or promote it, but there was a boss that I used to have who used to like to embarrass me in front of people, and I warned him. I said, if you ever do that to me again, I was like, don't show me up in front of my coworkers. If you got a problem with me, you take me in the back like a man and you tell me to my face. And I used to think like, man, if I wasn't on the clock with this dude and he talked to me like that, we'd have a different situation.
Yeah.
If I'm, he definitely would catch these hands. I might not be a super fast guy, but I'll sit on him if I have to at 260 pounds. But point being, like, if you got something to say, take a player to the side and talk to him. Don't go on the media, especially when you as a GM, you've made so many questionable decisions. Like, who are you to talk? What if players started calling you out on bad draft picks and bad decisions, signing a guy like D Ford, who's known to have all these injury issues, and just moving up in the draft to get a guy like, did they move up to get Dante Pettis? I forget.
Yes, they did. I think we jumped into the second round to get Dante Pettis. And the thing about that is, how you jump that high to get a guy for his return
ability. Oh my gosh.
He not returning, kicks and punts.
He don't even want to be on the field. He looked like he didn't even want to play. He'd rather play with cats.
Dante Pettis was softer than medicated cotton, softer than table butter.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Stephen A. says cottonelle tissue.
Man, for real. Again, look at the kind of guys they get. These choir boys, man. Man. And now, as far as Kittle, I saw somebody say Kittle sucks because I'm tracking the comments. This is my thing on Kittle. Remember, there was a point in time, because Grant pointed this out too. There was a point in time where Kittle was, can you smell? He's just the bravado, the swag was there and everything. Then he got paid, right? And so my thing is, though, as far as him getting paid, I still think Kittle is that same guy on the field. And this is just a theory. But would you agree with the fact that you think Kittle is playing kind of scared or kind of cautious, right? Here's my theory on why. He can talk all that, Jimmy's my buddy, all he want to, you know what I'm saying? All he want to. But you ask me, he know Jimmy be throwing him hospital balls. He know Jimmy got him hurt twice now, with these hospital balls.
Got Sanu hurt too.
Sanu. But as far as Kittle and Jimmy, I think Kittle like, look, I done got paid. I got a family now. I'm not going to go out here and risk my life for you no more. And so he's playing kind of soft because he's like, man, look, I'm not going to know. I'm not going to just pour my heart out no more. And this is the quality of quarterbacking we're getting. And so that's my theory. He kind of playing scared because he's like, I don't know when the next time it's going to be a hospital ball and I'm going to be done. That's just a theory.
He needs to spend less time on Instagram too. That's what he needs to do. He needs to he's all over social media. I've never seen more players who don't perform or not on the field all the time be all over posting all sorts of stuff on social media, looking happy and everything's going great, and your team is trash. You're sucking at your job. All that makes me so mad. Yeah. That's why I'm old school and I'm a curmudgeon. A lot of people say that I'm like living in the past because those things bother me. I'm like, whatever, dude.
No, man.
Like, you would never see a guy like Ronnie Lott posting selfies of himself if he was living in this age after the Niners just lost 4 straight. He'd probably go radio silent and just put like really cryptic tweets or something out, and then go into the next game and try to rip somebody's head off. Like, where is that, man? Nobody. It's like nobody cares. It's like everybody's just happy. I've never seen so many losers be so happy. Like, why are you happy? You suck. I'd be pissed. If I sucked at my job all the time and people were constantly critiquing me on it, I'd be in a bad mood. I wouldn't be happy. I'm so tired of it. I've gotten so tired of all these players and these coaches. I'm not saying get rid of people, but the current way of things that are going ain't good, and things need to change. Maybe they need a Bill Parcells type coach who'll come in here and rip people. There's too much nice guy. Everybody's nice. There's too much niceness.
Man, look.
What did what's his name say about the world when the girl asked him why he ain't nice? I think it was Blade. He said, because the world ain't nice. That's how you got to be.
Right. Good answer. Right. I'm going to say something. Say what you want, but I think a coach from our past that would be better fit to lead this team right now, Mike Singletary. He wouldn't put up with this nonsense. Say what you want about
get a bunch of good coordinators around him, but then
I'm talking about as a head coach and leader of men. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just somebody who's going to fire you up and demand excellence, demand greatness. And right now, we don't have that.
Yeah, a lot of people in the comments are talking about there's no leadership, and everybody's right. It comes from the top. Crap rolls downhill.
When I started saying that, people was like, "Oh man, I'm like, all right, don't listen to me then." So damn that. Oh, speaking of leadership with John Lynch, did you hear what he said about OBJ? He said something about you got to earn that. Earn what? To come where? What?
To
I
here?
wouldn't want to play here
to
either.
This dumpster fire?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play here either. Somebody got to earn that. Man, you don't go sit out somewhere and play in traffic. Have several seats, John Lynch.
Sammy S says Kittle's too busy promoting and selling. Right. I see it all. Dude, I'm so sick of it. Like, get off social media, man. Get better on the field. Stop fumbling and stay healthy. All of these players, man. Yeah, exactly.
And it's almost
off
like
the internet and catch some balls and stop fumbling.
Remember,
finally, someone sees my way.
Right. You know who Roy Jones is, clearly, Roy Jones Jr. You remember when he started getting knocked out?
Yeah.
You know what happened, right? He started rapping. So he started rapping and started getting knocked out. Spend less time doing extra shit and more time on your craft. Like with your first craft. Like you said about Kittle. If Kittle spends as much time on the field doing this, being this bravado kind of guy, we'd be a lot better. Or he'd be a lot better at least. So if he took some of that social media hype and spoke up about the team to the team, we'd be a lot better off as well.
Yeah, these guys are really good at self-promoting and dressing really nice and showing off their wife all the time. And instead of, hey, let's change the way we play. Let's not be so reckless on the field, like Sammy S is saying. We know our body can't take the punishment. So instead of trying to fight for on a 15-yard reception, instead of stepping out of bounds or maybe kind of roll themselves, stood up so somebody could take our knees out from under us. It's just like, after a while, man, it's this repetitive crap that happens constantly. It's really annoying to watch. And if people think I'm negative and me and Silverado are negative, I don't care. If you're happy with a team that's always losing and never relevant other than 2019 and 11 to 13, if you're okay with that, growing up how I grew up, watching the 49ers win 5 Super Bowls within a 13-year span, listen, this is garbage. This team, all these guys should be completely ashamed of themselves. And anybody defending this trash and that we need, we got to be faithful no matter what. You can be faithful and still be critical.
Yes,
are you kidding me?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Being critical doesn't mean you don't like your team. Being critical means you have expectations. Or you could the Niners are literally, like Grant Cohn said, they're like the Browns of the West Coast. They're like a yearly disappointment. Everybody talks about them, and then they get the product hits the field, and it's garbage. Yeah, Pinor's right. Faith is overrated. Definitely. Just win some games. Stop playing.
Faith is overrated, and realism is underrated.
Exactly. Nobody likes realism. That's why people are like, oh, I unsubscribed to your channel because you're too negative about the Niners. What do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to say? That everything's great? No, that's not the type of person I am. I'm a truthful guy. Gets
Yeah,
me in
man.
trouble a lot of times, but whatever.
Hey,
When do you think the Trey Lance era is going to begin? Do you think it begins if we lose to the Rams and we play Jacksonville?
it's funny. I was just thinking about that, Aaron. So get out my head, Charles.
Get out of my head. Sorry.
Get out my head, Charles. Yeah. I was thinking about him saying his response to the question about when we see Trey Lance or when will he take over. And he said, it depends on how the second half of the season goes. My thing is, I think it was Nick from Nothing But Niners. Shout out Nick. He said something.
Yep,
I'm paraphrasing. He said something to the effect of, Kyle Shanahan's clock starts ticking once Trey Lance takes over, right?
Exactly.
And there's a lot of truth to that because and again, he don't want it to be his fault. So therefore, what's going on, Panama?
Hi, Panama.
He don't want it to be his fault. So he knows, okay, you know what? If I start him now, and not just that, he didn't want to look stupid. Think about it. If he gets traded keys now and he just totally balls out, what we gonna say?
Should have put him in
sooner.
So
long? Right. What took so long? And he didn't want to hear that. So if it was me, like I said on the show the other day, I'm gonna let Jimmy go out there and get beat up versus the Rams. Let him show who he is and who he's not one more time, and then go ahead and say, let's trade, Jimmy. You take your clipboard and give him keys, and we'll talk later. Not only that, I'm also playing rookies who are outperforming the vets in practice. All this veteran loyalty Kyle Shanahan doing, nothing he makes sense no more to me. Ain't no way Lenore is any worse than
Drake or Patrick.
Yeah, him. Oh, I'm sorry.
He is horrible. Why is Lenore not playing? I don't understand that.
Moment of silence for Drake Kirkpatrick because he
got
lost
run
his
the
soul.
hell over.
He lost his soul in his life on about the 13-yard line.
I think he
that out.
I think he had a come to Jesus moment in that moment, or he hit him so hard that I think he saw Jesus.
I would have rather him make a business decision and kind of just. I wouldn't.
Stand out of the way.
No,
we would have both been pissed.
Right.
Yeah.
But
we got pissed that he got ran over because he wasn't eating his Wheaties, and we got pissed that
all you heard was her, and Benjamin ain't a big dude, but he got body. You saw soul leave his body.
He got crumpled, dude. He got crumpled like a piece of paper. I've never seen a person get crushed like that.
Hey, in the Bay, we say he got folded.
He definitely got folded.
I mean, that was just, and it happened so fast, Aaron. I was like, oh, and I'm like, and he scored.
I would have gave the coach my gloves, my helmet, and my pads, and be like, I'm out.
Oh yeah,
I quit.
Walk yourself to the locker room, buddy.
I'll pull a what's his name? Vernon Davis's brother. I'll just retire at halftime. Say, see ya, bye.
Speaking of Vernon Davis, add him to the list of players who got their souls taken during the game.
Yeah, by Cam Chancellor.
Woo, twice. And that's my point, Aaron. There's no way Lenore or Ambry Thomas are going to play any worse than some of the vets are playing.
And maybe they won't cost their team stupid penalties.
And what I really don't get is, I'm playing them because of the vets. I'm playing them because of the vets. They're not playing like vets, just like the whole Trey Lance Jimmy G thing. So you're telling me you'd rather have a rookie who's playing like a rookie struggle to have an 8-year vet play like a rookie? Because say what you want, I know Jimmy got different little accolades and things of that nature, his winning, his QBR or his air yards, whatever it is, or, just his wins and all that, but he's terribly inconsistent, and he's just not it.
When you need him to perform in a big moment, he can't. He's played well the last couple of weeks. I'll be totally honest. It hasn't been his fault. It wasn't his fault last week. It was everybody else, but it's either one or the other. It's either Jimmy plays like Jimmy, or the defense decides not to show up. I just want to say thanks real quick to 49ers Ultimate Report for the $5 super chat. Thank you, my 49er brethren. I appreciate it very much.
And you appreciate the compliment too, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. And, and I'm just like, as far as Jimmy goes, back to Jimmy, he's just not good enough when it counts to bring this team back. Okay, I know in the Green Bay game he kind of had he had that drive where we kind of got back in it, and I'll give him that. But that doesn't happen enough. It's almost like it's a emergency relay switch. Like, you got to hit that switch for an emergency. And my thing is, man, just he's inconsistent. And he did play fairly well versus the Cardinals, but he threw a couple of hospital balls. He got Sanu hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to put Ayuk in a retirement home. So he does that often. And so my thing is, I'd rather struggle with Trey Lance than struggle with Jimmy Garoppolo. Is no hate towards Jimmy, and we're seeing who he is. So what are you waiting for, Kyle? Like, how much better do you think he's going to get?
It's over. This is who he is. He is who he is. That's his level of play. He can only go so high. Trey, we don't know what his level of play is.
Right.
Nobody knows.
And in the one game he played, Aaron, I think he looked decent. He had that one high interception, and he damn near won a game for us. Even getting used like a running back.
I just don't understand why you can't. If you can make Jimmy look good with calling certain plays and scripting plays, why can't you do the same thing with Trey, who has more athletic skill and a better arm?
I mean, that's the same question, except I said early on, if Kyle Shanahan can protect Jimmy Garoppolo, why can't he protect Trey Lance via play calling and scheming?
Right. It's not like Trey's going to second guess the coach. He's too young. He knows better. It's not. Yeah, I don't understand it. I just do not understand it. I really like Sammy S in the comments. Most people say I'm super eccentric and I'm really negative, but everything's. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but whatever they're saying, that I agree with pretty much every single thing, because I can be very extreme with my feelings towards the 49ers, and a lot of people can't take it. So I'm glad, Kev, that you're in here, because sometimes when I do solo streams, a lot of people attack me for being negative. So,
oh no, you being real?
Yeah, right. The offensive line, that's one of my other topics. Oh man, what do we got? Like, what do we got to do to get that line to play better? I think we need to start playing some like Aaron Banks, maybe, and who's the offensive tackle who's supposed to start? Why not?
I'm gonna answer that question and also, touch on Sammy S's comment about what is going to fall back on Shanahan. These guys you picked. I'm like, hey, what you complaining about? You went to the store and you picked all these guys up and put them in the basket. Not now what you gonna do? And that goes to along with the rookies on the O-line. I'm like, how do you not? Tom Compton, bro, listen.
He's so bad.
Tom Compton don't deserve to have the last name Compton, knowing where Compton is and what Compton is. You need to change your last name.
Think about that. That's a good one.
There's no way you represent nothing about Compton, because dude is terrible. I never played an O-line a day in my life, and I know he outweighed me, by a little bit. I'm a big boy myself, but you coach me up a little bit. I do better than Tom Compton. Why is he on the roster? Like, this is whoo. Last week, I forgot that Jimmy got sacked, but something happened where Jimmy had to kind of move around a little bit, and I looked up and I saw 66. I was like, 66. But that's Tom Compton. Why is he out there? I didn't realize McGinty got hurt. And so I'm thinking like, whoa, what's going on here? And they called up McKivitz from the practice squad. Along the lines of what I was saying earlier, Aaron, if we see McKivitz before we see Banks, Banks or Moore, it's going to tie in more with what I was saying. It's just like, what?
He'd rather lose his way. He'd rather lose his way.
Classic narcissist.
Do the right thing.
And it's just so frustrating, man. I'm like, I watched the game last night. Neither one of my teams. I only rock one team. You see what that is. But I love football. And I'm watching the game like, okay, everybody missed tackling. Everybody kind of be out of position sometimes. But the Dolphins, they were playing some ball last night.
That's my brother's squad. I didn't know they won until I went to bed really early. I got up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, what? The Dolphins won? I was so happy for my brother because they're doing so bad this year.
And that's about the reason I give it a chance versus the Rams. if the Dolphins can come in there, and show up and give the Ravens a run for their money and actually win, I mean, there's always a chance. But my point for watching the game last night, it was a lot cleaner than what we've been playing, and they look like they're being coached to play that way. Think about who the coaches were. Harbaugh and the head coach for the Dolphins.
I know who you're talking about.
Can't think of his name right now. But those are both leader of men. They can coach, they can lead, they can inspire, they can motivate. So I'm like, why can't we play like that? It's just.
The turnovers and the undisciplined penalties, and the fact that we don't turn over anybody, all that combined is just. I mean, you watch games and we're spitting the ball up here, we're spitting the ball up there, and yet we can't force a turnover. We got 6 people around to fumble and they can't recover it. That one that Fred Warner was standing like, how, man?
No,
do some fumble drills in practice, man.
I'm gonna tell you that somebody who's been on the wrong end of recovering a fumble more than once.
Brian Flores, thank you.
Right, thank you, Brian Flores, leader of men. But as I was saying, as somebody who's played the game and has smoked off recovering a fumble before, sometimes it's not just as easy as falling on the ball because that ball does what it wants to when it wants to. Now, I do agree. It was 16 of us run the ball and counter, but somehow he got the ball back, I believe. Was that play? Well, my point is, no way in hell we don't recover that fumble. We should recover that fumble. Somebody on our team wearing the red jersey should recover that fumble. But about Fred Warner real quick. He hasn't been playing consistently as well as he did when he was deemed All-Pro Fred. But that again, that'll give you no reason to attack him in the media like that. So again, this is just a lack of coaching. I'm telling you, somebody in that locker room got to nut up and be like, I know you've seen the snakes on the plane. I'm tired of these snakes on this plane. I'm saying? Somebody got to show the hell out. You feel me?
Yeah, we need Samuel L. Jackson or somebody to channel Samuel L. Jackson and start flipping out on people, man. Stop accepting failure as being okay. I just, this team is not bereft of talent. They're not completely talentless. They need to, here's my 3 areas that they need to address. Offensive line, mainly right guard and right tackle, if the 2 that they got don't pan out or if they don't play them. Corner, they probably have to redo their whole secondary because I don't know who's coming back next year.
Everybody but the rookies.
Spend some money in free agency. If there's a good corner out there, go get him. If there's another defensive end out there, go get him. If you're able to afford a right guard that actually can play and is not some journeyman trash, go get him. You're better in the later rounds of the draft anyway, so it kind of bodes well for you that you don't have a first-round pick to screw up. So you get right to like the second or third round and you do your work. And I think receiver, they really need to address another receiver after the first 2. I think Ayuk is fine, and I think Debo is fine, but I do need a number 3, like a legit number 3. I'm sorry, but I am not a big fan of Sanu. I like him, he's cool, but like at this point in his career, he's returning kicks, which I don't understand. And then Trent Sherfield kind of remembered who he was, and he's been out of sight, out of mind. And Juwan Jennings, I don't think he can run away from a cold because he's slow. So,
hey, Sanu and Jennings, like I like to always say, and Armstead, them boys slow as payday.
Yes. Did you see Armstead on that one touchdown run, just jogging? It was like a pass or a screen or like some sort of run, and the guy ran like 40 yards to the end zone, and you just see Armstead doing his little fat run that he always does.
Come on,
oh my God, I was so mad. I never liked Armstead, ever. I was always a Buckner guy.
Right, and definitely not on the edge, But to get back on track here, yes, another receiver will definitely help. Debo and Ayuk are good where they are. Debo, as long as he stay healthy, Lord bless him with health. But yes, a third guy will definitely be great. But see, you know what though? We talk about who we want and how to upgrade the roster. It's not gonna matter. We can pick up Jesus. We can pick up Jesus.
They'll find a way to screw it up.
Yeah, thank you. Because Kyle Shanahan, you got to go, bro. Like you said, if you aren't playing up to par and pulling your weight, something has to change. And sometimes that change is you.
Yeah, and I feel you're not going to get the best out of him next year if he's a lame duck coach either. So, like, either take away power from him, fire a GM and somebody else, maybe D'Amico. Unfortunately, D'Amico hasn't been doing a great of a job. I know Saleh didn't always at first either, but D'Amico's they look bad.
He's a rookie. He's a first-time DC, and he's going through growing pains as well. I like some of D'Amico's looks. There's definitely a lack of adjustments, because you're not going to gash me off the edge 3 times and I just stay in the same look, or you hit me down the seam 2-3 times in a row, and okay, well, it was one off. No, it's not a one off. It happens every damn down. So something else, man. Like, you got to put stock in the guys you want. Like, you get what you pay for. And unfortunately, D'Amico Ryans, well, I don't think he's a bad guy,
No.
and not to mention he has injuries too. So not only is he dealing with being a first-time DC, he has injuries to key guys, so and I think that is part of the issue too. It kind of, I've seen teams I've coached where we lost key players, and it takes a toll on the players. Like, man, dang, Aaron got hurt. He our best safety, or Kev out. He our best running back. I mean, that takes a toll too. So, and again, leadership. Somebody got to look. All y'all suck right now. We suck right now. I mean, somebody say something.
Right. One of the last things I wanted to ask you about is the end of Jalen Hurd as a 49er. They finally decided to waive him on something that, I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't think Kyle had the stones to do it, and it took him a while. But yeah, the Jalen Hurd era is over. That never began.
Right.
And this is just another mark on John Lynch as a Italian evaluator, and the Niners' arrogance on how they build the roster and how they know better than us, but they really don't. And what a epic fail on all fronts. The dude's never played it down in the NFL. He played like 2 preseason games, had 1 game, he hurt his back, and that was pretty much the end for him. And
we just kept holding on. And correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron. I think in that draft when we took Hurd, I think a couple picks later, a guy like Terry McLaurin went to the Redskins.
Yes.
I mean, to the football team. And I'm like, so what did you see in Hurd, a converted receiver, that you didn't see in McLaurin?
Who had injuries, issues coming out of college too.
And that too, I don't get what they're attracted to about these guys who have notable injuries. But the decision making is terrible as well. So, like you said, it's the way they draft, their decision making. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go backwards. I did see somebody in here, I forgot the person's name, but the person asked, "Let's talk about why we can't win a home game." and again,
where do you start?
It don't feel like home. First of all, I personally, not to go on another tangent, but I don't think we should have left Candlestick. My mama stayed down the street as we speak. But once we left Candlestick, there was a curse. I think there's a Candlestick curse. I think there's a cap curse. It's a couple curses, plaguing this team right now. And like you said, the magic is gone. And playing at home, it's a home field disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and then the crowd really don't be into it because they know what we're looking at. They know how we've been playing. They say the crowd feeds the team. And also, that goes both ways. The team feeds the crowd. Give the crowd something to feed off.
Right.
And so oh, man, you're right. We at home, we just hot garbage. I mean, straight Tuesday, Thursday, trash days, especially at home. No problem, Gavin.
Part of someone. I just wanted to let you know. Shout out to Kev.
Appreciate you, man.
Luke Luna did say, he goes, when you lose Mostert and Wilson, everything built around the run game, you will struggle around, with your identity. I agree, but like they know this stuff because They have these guys with these injury histories, and they know this. You should be prepared. Like, how do you just say, well, this is how we're going to run our offense, and we're not going to think of it in the, in the terms of, well, this guy has got injury issues, so he's probably going to get hurt. Same thing with Verrett. They banked on these guys, and that's another flaw. And one of the things that I had as a topic is just this whole philosophy of how they build this roster needs to change. The whole injury, if you have to just completely take people off your board, completely take free agents off your board, injuries have to be the number one thing when you look at a player as far as who you're going to draft or who you're going to sign as a free agent. If they have a long lingering injury history and they miss a lot of games and they have a lot of soft tissue injuries, you can't win like that if people are never on the field, man. It's insane. The Niners under Harbaugh, they were never hurt. All you could say about the Lynch Shanahan era is everybody's always hurt all the time. But I'm sick of that excuse, though, and I'm sick of the Niners using that excuse. Oh, I don't care. Figure out a way to get better and stop getting hurt.
Here's my thing, too, though, Aaron. You're right. I think we led the league, or at least been top 5 in injuries the past couple of seasons, maybe four or five or so. But my thing is, and the first thing people do is jump on a training staff. I don't know how I feel about that, because the training staff only trains these individuals at the facility. So my question is, how are you taking care of your body outside the facility? How are you training outside the facility? Things like broken bones, you can't prevent that. A bone break. A fracture is a fracture. Maybe drink some more milk. I don't know. But you can't avoid things like that. Now, these soft tissue injuries, these tweaks, these tears, these strains, unless it's a hospital ball from Jimmy and he come down wrong, that's different. But the hamstrings, the quads, the things like that, I think that has a lot to do with how the player is training. Because clearly their body's talking to them like, hey, we don't do this too often. You know what I'm saying? So or do it more often, so we're more used to it. So I'll put a lot of that on the player themselves. Man, you got me want to cry again with these injuries. And I wanted to say too, remember I talked about injuries, how it affects the team as well? For 2 seasons in a row now, we've had key injuries early in the season. Last year, it was Bosa and Thomas, right? This year, it was Verrett and Mostert. So that was a blow, you know what I'm saying, to the team's confidence, to the team's, faith. Like, oh, man, them 2 pretty big guys, So, and yeah, they're hard to replace, But, again, coach these guys up, next man up, and, has been the theme, So, hey, even though Mitchell isn't fast as Mostert, because Mostert weekend fast. I mean, how you get off work on a Friday,
crazy,
and you blink, it's Monday. That's how fast.
I agree. That days off always fly by.
Right, exactly, like Mostert. But Mitchell fast too. I think Mitchell a 4.3 type guy, and like somebody just said in the comments, Mitchell gains 9 yards. 6 yards, 9 yards, 4 yards. Hey, let's throw 5 straight passes. What? Javi said this on Twitter a couple weeks ago. His sequencing is just terrible. Yeah, when you build something from home and it come in directions, it seemed like Kyle jumped from step 4 to step 12, and then wonder why it fall apart or doesn't work the way it's supposed to when you go to use.
Why is the shelf upside down? I don't understand.
Oh my God! I get sometimes drops interrupt, the flow. Penalties interrupt the flow. But damn it, that don't mean you go from play 3 to play 17. Keep going in your flow. And for him to say the reason we started passing the ball because they were stacking the box, newsflash there, deck plate. They've been stacking the box all damn season. I don't hear that excuse. And then you decide to try to start passing the ball with Jimmy right there.
With that bad offensive line where Jimmy can't escape.
And speaking of Jimmy, his pocket presence over the past couple games, I don't know if he's seeing ghosts. I see dead people. I don't know what's going on with Jimmy back there, but man, I don't know what he waited
Jimmy's
for,
not
man,
big on the anticipation throws. He has an issue
at
with those.
all. At all.
Like
I mean,
everything's got to be like a square in or a slant. You
he
never
has to
see him
be,
hit
and he has
anything
to
to
be
the
wide open
sideline.
too. He has to be wide open too. Now again, he's made a couple throws where I was like, wow,
Yes.
where'd that come from?
He'll wow you once in a while with like a really nice throw, but then he'll hospital ball somebody the next play.
Hey, I had one of my coaches tell me when I was coaching about his son and some other players, because I never really heard him, prop up his sons a lot. He kind of, good job. But other than that, he was like, you know why I do that, Kev? I said, why is that? He's like, as soon as you pat him on the ass, they shit in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So, you can't give him too much props too often because it's going to go to his head. So, and yeah, don't hospital balls, bro. Nah. And just Jimmy not it. Especially if we losing, and again, I'd rather struggle with Trey than struggle with Jimmy. It's nuts, man. Like, and I do think Trey gives the best chance to win even right now. Because he has a skill set that he can tap into that Jimmy doesn't. Be it pressure in the pocket or whatever. Extend plays. So yeah, man, Jimmy is who he is, and Kyle is who he is. So
Something's got to give.
Based upon how we play on Monday, it's going to tell you whether or not somebody spoke up.
Definitely. The point you made about over complimenting people, it was like when Jordan, I don't know if you saw that video where he gave Luke Longley a compliment, and then Longley had like 13 points and a couple blocks or something.
Right.
And then he goes and he finished the game with 13 points. Well, he's like, that's the last time I ever give Luke Longley a compliment.
Yeah, man. Yes. I mean, certain people are just like that. Everybody's not like that. They're not. And to go back to Kyle real quick about not everybody's not like that. I don't know. Kyle has kids. I know he has multiple kids. So my thing is, just like you can't parent every child the same way, you can't coach every player the same way. And again, that's a part of the aspect of being a leader of men. Because if you don't know no better, you just don't know no better. And to be honest, another theory I have is, we talked about the other day, you think Kyle figured, hey, look, I'm good either way. They fire me, I'm still getting paid. So I really have no reason, to turn this around or to do no better because I'm good either way it goes. And Kyle Shanahan.
No, say you agree with me that great players want to be coached. They want to be coached.
Yes.
Up. They look for it.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't know if it's autopilot or just nobody piloting the ship, but woo. Like I said, Kyle Shanahan, man, if that's what you're doing right now, you feel like you're going to get paid either way it go, and you're looking to get fired, so you have an out, damn you, shame you, go back to where you came from and don't come back. That's just terrible. Again, that's something that's been talked about. And oh, wait. And in the same breath, John Lynn said something about Fred Warner getting paid and not performing. Your head coach in the same boat, buddy.
Exactly. I'm trying to look for a comment that Luke Luna made about McDaniel from
Mike McDaniel?
No, I think he's talking about the McDaniel from New England. Can't find it. Oy.
I'm looking forward to. Maybe it's kind of far up there. I don't know, but
I think it's really far up there. Luke, can you retype it? I can't find it.
Get out of my head and say, "Hey, Luke, just put it back in the chat."
I mean, the chat's been very active today, so like I'm trying to keep an eye on it, but like I'm getting like really into the conversation. So some people are really good at managing their.
I got you.
What's that?
That's what I do on a real talk show too. I'm normally managing.
Yeah, you're definitely into the chat.
So that's you see me looking away. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, when people are talking, I hear them, but a lot of times I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking to see if my Wi-Fi is doing all right, or if there's people actually in the chat. I'm not just talking to myself. Right. Shanahan is set to make $40 million whether he gets fired or not. He's laughing at the bank. I made a point today because I saw a picture of freaking Jaquaski Tard on Instagram saying life is good, and like people were saying like you shouldn't be saying that when you're losing, and he keeps responding, "Have a nice day." And I commented, and I said, us people, normal people, have to realize that these athletes don't care as much as we want them to about that. It's a job to them, man. This is a way to make money and support their family into the future. We need to stop losing sleep and getting stressed over stuff that these players don't even worry about. To them, it's a job, man. It's just a way to get paid. I think us fans a lot of times care more about it than these players do, to be honest with you. And that's the truth. People could say, oh, I'm a hater. They don't, dude. Some of them care, but not all of them.
Hey, Luke Luna just commented again. I don't know if it's a comment you were looking for, but he just commented again.
He said when the play that's called is good and there's people open and doesn't work, it's execution. You know what I mean? It's a bad play call, but he has slowly started to take. Oh, okay. Yeah, he definitely. Are you talking about Kyle Shanahan taking account? He actually did kind of the other day take a little bit of accountability, saying it falls on him. The way that the Niners have been playing, and that he takes full responsibility, which is something he never does. He usually just craps on the players. So,
and about that, his demeanor in press conferences has gotten like more and more like he don't know what to say. So maybe, and you know what? Damn it! If that's what it takes, Kyle Shanahan, for you to get your head out your ass, for you to be embarrassed, keep embarrassing his ass.
Definitely.
Damn it, some got to change. But now I would give him credit for that, to say he took accountability. Before he said I, he said we. He was speaking French for a long time. I mean, we before he said I. So I ain't finna get him credit for that.
Gavin said that he didn't really take accountability. He followed up by saying the team still didn't execute. And of course,
that's what I'm saying.
So he talks out both sides of his face. I have an uncle like that. They're like, one way they're saying really nice things, and the other way they're like two different people, depending on what side of the face they're talking out of.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Luke says his demeanor is dark and cloudy. Yeah, I say this. I probably shouldn't say it, but he needs to be on a certain type of watch for people that might harm themselves. I won't say the word, but yeah.
Hey, and I don't know about you, and I've tried to limit how many times I say it, but I can't say the way it, like he just has
somebody did like a video of him saying they like made it sound like almost like it was pretty horrible.
Come on, man.
I don't get really enthusiastic about him anymore. I never really have, though. He's not that type of guy. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's more like a cocky guy who thinks he can just outcoach you.
No, narcissism much.
I'll say this about the Rams. Say what you want about how they build their team. Say what you want about how they go about getting players. They show that they're in to win and they're going for it. The Niners, I don't get that idea. I get that, like, this is the way we do it. This is the way it's going to be this year, and that's it. And it's like they're never open to, like, maybe we can improve the team through this, or maybe we can do that. It's just like, no, this is the way we constructed it, and that's just how it's going to be. And then there's the Rams, who are like, oh, we're 7-1. You know what? Let's go for it. Screw the future, because they've shown that the salary cap really don't matter. The Niners talk about salary issues, but yet the Rams don't got no money, and they find a way to sign people. So
excuses. I mean,
they have a stripe right up their back full of excuses. I'm so tired of it. They either have the injuries.
Somebody along those same lines, Aaron. Somebody I was in a space the other night. I think it was last night. Said something about Kyle Shanahan. That he has we've had built-in excuses. He always puts them in. Because think about it. So next year, the built-in excuse is we trade first year starting. Jimmy coming off an injury. I mean, just always pre-made excuses.
There's always something.
Stop with those, man. Just take it all on the chin and move forward. So, like I said, man, we're gonna see how we play on Monday. And you'll know uninspired football when you see it. Trust me. Because somebody got to fire these guys up.
I guess I'll end it with this: is that like you said, the Rams game is going to be kind of a come to Jesus moment where we're going to find out a lot about this team and the front office and everything about this team. Does this team have the guts to face a team who looks like a Super Bowl contender and give them everything they possibly have and maybe win the game? Or are they just going to lay down and just take it on the chin and say, oh, well, and go cash that check at the bank on Monday like they've been doing? And I really don't have any breakdown for the Rams game. The breakdown is just play better, don't turn the ball over, don't commit penalties, and actually score some touchdowns and play some defense. It's all
Aaron
simple stuff, really.
Coming back in the chat, buddy.
Yep, I saw it. Aaron, I was saying I love our offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniels, and I think he's better than people even know. But I think maybe him and Kyle maybe split up to benefit them both. Yeah. I feel like I feel Luke, I feel like Mike McDaniel is kind of Kyle's personal, just like I feel Kyle has the final say on everything. And I would love to see what Mike McDaniel could do without Kyle, where Kyle became more the head coach, schematics, X's and O's, both sides of the ball, instead of just being offensive centric, ignoring the defense when they're on the field because he's trying to diagnose and make plays, draw plays, and actually become more of a coach, be more like in tune with what's going on, and have Mike McDaniel kind of have him free to, use the same foundation as the offense, but have his own spin on it. I completely agree.
And again, even with that, even if Mike McDaniels did get a job of calling plays, that whole narcissistic behavior is going to come back into play. He'd rather be wrong his way than right Mike's. So, boy.
Sammy S., enough with the injury excuses. That is like the number one excuse this franchise has had. Let's see, they had 30 players go on injured reserve last year. 30, over 20 the 2 previous years. Everything should be on the table. Every way to improve this team should be on the table. No excuses. And hopefully this Monday they actually have some heart and show something. Otherwise, I'm already thinking about next year. I don't know about you. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Gab. He says, how often do we blitz? We give up big plays anyways, and Fred's fast middle linebacker in the league. Our outside QBs are old and undersized. All true. Everything about that statement is true. And thank you again for the super chat.
Damn good point, Gab. Damn good point. And I'm going to add to that. A lot of this is on All-Pro Fred, even though he's not playing like an All-Pro consistently. But a lot of this is on Fred. But the players around him is making him look even worse as well. Because think about it. Playing defense as a DC myself, I know, hell, the D-line job is to keep the guys in the second level clean, the linebackers.
Yep, keep them clean.
Outside of Bosa, and actually that's not Bosa's job. Bosa's job is the edge. So outside of Bosa, he's getting no help. Aziz or anybody else playing linebacker not really getting much help. And it don't help when he's shooting the wrong gap or your run fits are off. I mean, so as far as Fred not really playing the way he has, he's not getting much help up front.
No, he's not.
So and it's terrible. Kerr got let go. I thought he was going to play better than he did. Kinlaw hurt. DJ Jones, man, has his moments. Givens, Armstead, what's my man name? Hurst got hurt. So that middle was lacking right now. So if you know all the run plays, the big run plays, they're tackle at the second level.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So that means up front ain't doing that job. And as a DC, I can't, man, Aaron, I'm telling you, I'd have called timeouts. Timeout. Hold on. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. There's no interior push. There's no interior push.
And then now somebody said something about blitzing. Can you imagine? We're already getting gashed in the running game, but now you're blitzing an extra guy from the secondary. Now
they're going to run right through the blitz or past the blitz and the wide
too,
open.
Right. But I will tell you what I have noticed about our blitz. Me and my dad talked about this, and actually, my dad's idea. Pop, you see this? Shout out to you. He was like, "Why is D'Amico Ryans? He's blitzing, but he's blitzing right into the rush. Right into the protection. Like, so you gonna blitz from the weak side? I mean, what's going on? When you come out and the linebacker calls out strong right. So you from the blitz to that side? That's what a tight end is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, come on, man. You
go to the side where there's less people. Simple.
Oh, tangent again, but Kyle Shanahan, he does it a lot as well. I cannot stand calling plays to the short side of the field. He does that shit all the damn time. So anyway, yeah, like I said, so
I will. I guess I'll end it with this one from Luke, because we've almost went an hour and a half. I can't believe it. He says, I love Mike McDaniels, and I think he designs a lot of our run game. But honestly, bringing in someone new like the OC from the Ravens, especially with Lance, and a strong coach outside of his circle. I agree as far as maybe the Niners stepping outside of the circle of coaches that they know and actually going after somebody who's outside of the mindset or the hive mind that is the 49ers, and seeing if they have a different take on things. I think I might have lost Kev. Yes, I lost him. Thank you, Luke, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. He says, shout out to Kev. We had dialogue and he's a good dude. Yeah, he's a really good dude. We're kind of on the same wavelength, though, guys. Not everybody's super happy with the Niners right now. So I appreciate you guys sticking in here and listening to all the negativity, but that's just the way that it is when your team is as bad as the 49ers are right now. I'm going to see if Ked's going to join us real quick to say goodbye, and then I'll let everybody go on their merry way. Why did we get rid of Hyder? Beats the hell out of me. He did well last year. You would have thought they would have kept him. Yeah, definitely. I agree. "49er fans, this team do not need Kyle leading them. Kyle is not good for Trey." It doesn't look like it at this point. I think I think the ship might have sailed with Kyle Shanahan, guys. I just don't see things getting better under his leadership. But a lot of people think that his contract and how much he's owed is definitely going to have an impact on how long he stays with the 49ers. So, Kevin's back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. My phone don't do not disturb, but a call came through, and whenever that happens, it kicks me off. So
kicked you out. Yeah, I was just going to hit it up with the fact that Luke made a good point about maybe the Niners bringing somebody in outside their circle of coaches. He talked about, I think, the OC of the. He was talking about.
Well, see, that goes back to Kyle Shanahan as well. He's not going to bring anybody in he's not comfortable with, or nobody he doesn't approve of per se. He picked coaches the same way he picked players. Old veteran familiarity. Oh, he played me before, so yeah.
He wants yes men. That's what he wants. He says, I love Mike McDaniels, and I think he designs a lot of our run game. But honestly, bringing in someone new like the OC of the Ravens, especially with Lance and strong outside coach of his circle. Yeah, I would definitely like to. I don't know. We already had Greg Roman here with Kaepernick. He does work well with them, but I don't know if I'd want to retread, though, to be honest with you.
He works well with those type of quarterbacks, but again, you still have to have a pocket passing time game. And I do believe that Trey Lance can pass from the pocket. He just ain't playing a lot of football. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean.
Yeah, Jamal's like, nah, I definitely don't want Greg Roman back.
That's like Greg Roman.
He says he doesn't want alpha males. That's why Brady is. Thank you. Yes, I agree with that.
And why
he likes to be able to yell at his quarterback and demean him like he does to Jimmy, and then give him a game ball after the fact.
A leader of men can deal with guys like that, but Kyle Shanahan isn't that. He wants yes guys, yes boss, no boss, right away boss. Nah, man, look. And listen, shout out to Brandon Ayuk, because he stood up to Kyle Shanahan and told him to kiss his ass, whatever else he may have said, but that needs to happen more often.
Definitely.
Look, hey, bro, damn you, my head coach. I got something to say to you. And also think about how the players feel seeing some of their better performing players not getting the playing time they deserve. That affects the team too.
I'm sure players are aware of it, but nobody in this team has the freaking stones to speak up. That's the one thing that gets to me. Gavin says, I want Shanahan gone at the end of the season if we finish with another losing year, but there's no way Jed foots the $40 million to fire his butt.
Hey, Jed part of the problem too.
Him, Parag, everybody's part of the problem.
So I mean, from top to bottom, all of them. Parag, York, Shanahan, Lynch.
Luke said, I'm just saying someone like that who can deal with Lance and help the offense for Lance and isn't Kyle's friend. I agree. They need somebody different. Get away from all the yes men and all the people that are in a part of your inner circle or your daddy's inner circle. Because a lot of these people that know him knew him through his daddy. He gets a little of that spoiled rich kid. I get a spoiled rich kid vibe from Kyle Shanahan for sure.
Yeah, man,
ain't nobody ever told him no, and somebody needs to tell him no. Maybe somebody needs to fire him, and maybe he'll finally have a little bit of everybody needs a slice of humble pie in their life. That's all I got to say. So,
and recently I heard that the whole Joe Williams debacle, apparently Joe Williams was off their board because Shanahan demanded that he be put back on the board. You see how that worked out.
Yep.
So
Gavin said nepotism. Andrew Martinez says he hasn't got fired because of his name. I totally agree on all of that. Kyle's been getting out coached by his own coaching tree apprentices.
Yeah.
All
facts.
And I think I'll leave it with this. Kyle is getting 1 year with the QB he drafted at least. If they do okay, he'll stay another year. And if he looks the same again, I think Jed eats the money after that. Yeah. They're not going to fire him this year. I mean, they could, but I'm saying it's likely that he's not fired because, they want to see what he can do with the kid. So, Kev, it's been fun.
It's been real, man.
We went an hour and a half, and it felt like it was 20 minutes.
Right.
I had a really good time.
I did too, bro.
I was happy to have you guys let me come on your show, Real Talk Niner Talk. I appreciate it. So I wanted to return the favor. I could have everybody on, but I figure we and you have been kind of interacting for a little bit. So I figured, that would be the best way to go about it. So I just want to say thank you. If you want to plug everything you need to plug for the YouTube channel and for anything to do with All 49er SI, the floor is yours.
First of all, thanks to you for having me on. It was a pleasure having you on our show. It was a pleasure being on here. In terms of myself and the show, I'm Silverado Kev across the board on all social media. The capital letters may kind of vary some, or the underscores, but Silverado Kev on all social media. In terms of all SI 49ers, I do write for them, but I write under the name Kev Mitchell, just more professional. So you can find me under Kev Mitchell on Sports Illustrated. And also the Real Talk Niner Talk show, or Real Talk Niner. Just type in Real Talk Niner Talk on any platform, it'll come up because we got a few different names based upon the platform. But yeah, Real Talk Niner Talk. You can find us anywhere. We got the podcast as well on Spotify, Apple Music, and things of that nature. So if you enjoy me here, coming over to the show, it's me and four of my brothers. You're gonna love it there too. So you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and come through and check one of our shows out. And thank you again. Thank y'all, the guys in the comments too, people in the comments too. I appreciate y'all.
Everybody in the comments, thanks a lot. I appreciate the love. And go check out 49er Real Talk, Niner Talk. Subscribe to them. Watch they have a pregame going, I think tomorrow. And I think they do a post game after the game. Do you guys usually go after the game, or do you do that like on Wednesday?
Wednesday is our post game show. And thank you, Luna. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Luke, thank you very much. You've been super active in the chat, I just want to say. And go check them out. Go check Kev out on Twitter. He's great to follow. Man, it's been great. I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate the whole chat. This has been a very lively discussion. And who knows, Kev, maybe next time I talk to you, we can have some good news and something good to talk about. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. And as I always say to everybody, I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, everyone.
Exactly. Have a good one.
See ya.